Hey there, Tundra Nation, and welcome back to the channel. With the holiday season coming to a close, the in-laws have headed home, and the cold winter months ahead of us, my writer in Florida has decided to share some of the heat with you by giving you another rifle roast. Thanks for that one, Cushion. Remember, folks, all of these were submitted by fans in the Discord, and they asked for this. If you want to have your rifle roasted, click the link in the description below, and now you can sit back, put on those socks you got for Christmas, and let's start the show.
Hell yeah!
Before we get into the roast, I have one quick request for you all. It's that time of the year again to vote for your favorite content creators in the Gundies, and we have been nominated for 2 categories once again this year: Most Entertaining and Best to a Voice. Still don't understand how we got that one. We'd love it if you took some time to check out thegundies.com and vote for us. All right, folks, back to the roasts. First up, we have this submission from Cooper D2319 with a PSAK he received for Christmas years ago. He says, and I quote, "It initially had some cycling problems, but that got taken care of since we sent it back to get fixed." Not off to a great start, are you, bud? Whatever family member gave you this lemon for Christmas has the mental power of a 3-week-old fruitcake.
I'm not a smart man.
I'd say it's probably genetic, since you go on to say that the optic mount must have gotten bent at some point because it doesn't line up with the iron sights. Newsflash, buddy, side-mounted optics almost never do, but are you really worried about that red dot lining up anyways? I only ask because I assume you had it on there just for looks, because nobody is seriously gonna trust a Walmart Bushnell optic for anything outside of a picture. With a stock trigger and a muzzle brake, this thing's never gonna feel like a great shooter anyways. Pro tip, utilize those M-lock slots for something, change all the parts that you can, and then sell it for an AR-15. Next submission comes from CT17004. What's with all the numbers and the names these days, guys? Come on. Everything about this picture reeks of late 90s wannabe operator. The M9 was the standard issue for the military at the time, so you got one of those. Then you realize Beretta makes other guns. You found the CX4 Storm and you thought it had an interesting and futuristic look. You slapped the first recommended attachments onto it when you typed in Picatinny into Amazon. As a bonus, they recommended the Serpa holster to you, and you thought that retention was a good idea. That's how Amazon does it. That's how they knew to recommend it to you. Your search history told them very clearly that your IQ was about as high as the number of pages in a Dr. Seuss book.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Now wait just a minute.
Moving on, we have an entry from a gaming anomaly. What in the Call of Duty FUD lore is that?
What the hell is even that?
Gaming has bastardized this Mossberg 590 so hard it no longer knows what to identify as. From the very unnecessary CQR stock to the pump with an angled foregrip and a 90-degree mounted thumb rest, you spent so much money trying to get a John Wick setup that you neglected to finish the walls in your garage. You don't even have one of the newer EOTechs on there, showing us that you were running out of funds towards the end of this build. Instead of getting a cool bayonet, you had to cheap out and get one of those Bush League ones you find at the bottom of the clearance bin at your local gun store. I give this build 1.5 out of 10 because shotguns suck, and the build, well, it looks extra cringe.
You're fucking 10-ply, bud.
The last right you sent us this SA58 kit. While the SA58 is one of my personal favorite guns, this one needs to be scrapped. With an FN chrome line 21-inch barrel that is cold hammer forged, this is still gonna have the groupings of Helen Keller with a blunderbuss.
Man, I'm dead.
That LPVO up there, that's basically useless, and the Desert Chocolate Chip camo attempt looks more like a Taco Bell skid mark inside of a trucker's pants. Great, now you can blend in while in the stall at your local Flying J's bathroom.
That shit is gross!
Thanks for at least straightening the comforter before dropping this rifle onto the bed for a haphazard photo. Just like your wife says about foreplay, a little effort in the setup goes a long way, buddy. Make sure to take her advice next time you plan on submitting something. Oh, look, another abomination thrown onto some beige bed cover of some kind. This should be fun. That Jolly Guy posted this SKS that he jammed into an SG Gunwork bullpup conversion kit. I see literally no upside of any of this, and I'm appalled that you guys would do this to a classic. Yes, I know it's an SKS, but technically it is a classic now.
Okay, boomer.
This is why we have the meme "Niet rifle is fine," because in its original configuration, the rifle was actually fine. You didn't need to do anything with it. Otherwise, the rifle will in fact be not fine. I don't know if you guys are following that, but that's the way it goes. While the SKS really isn't good at anything in particular, what it is good at is jamming every time changes are made to its configuration. Not that the gun not shooting is gonna matter, since I doubt you'll hit much using those sights that are closer together than the length of that massager your wife uses all the time.
Oh my god.
Like a jackhammer.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Is it black?
What? No, it's
Slightly darker black?
No, it's not any kind of black.
Continuing with the trends of things that you shouldn't do, we decided to roast this submission from Water Duelist. Our love here at the Tundra Nation of shitting on High Point has no bounds, but even I think that this thing is wrong. You took a subpar pistol caliber carbine with a trigger that felt about as smooth as 80 grit sandpaper being dragged across volcanic rock, and you crammed it into a bullpup stock just to make the trigger practically unworkable. This has all the functionality of an underwater toaster with none of the upsides. With no sights to be seen and some off-brand light mounted to the front, I doubt you can even see your misses between running failure to feed drills.
Hard no.
At least with some bullpups, they make the rifle look a bit cooler, but this one is the reason why Stevie Wonder is glad he is blind. Wyvern Has Arms sent us this 300 Blackout pistol. We have no information on it other than it might get a bipod. For what, buddy? Your sniper precision? Come on, man. You don't even have a brace on this thing yet. What good's a bipod gonna do with a mil-spec trigger and the lack of practicing hindering your accuracy? I'm all for allowing people to do what they want despite these roasts, but that doesn't mean I don't question the future of humanity knowing your genetics are still in play. With a barrel matching the same length you mentioned in your Tinder profile, you should be really doing good work if it is in fact 8.3 inches. However, I do feel like you are lying about one of those things.
It's a total fabrication.
Next up, NSA agent sent us in a nightmare he made into a reality. Apparently, he dreamt about Eugene Stoner being born in Berlin and making this thing, I guess? With a 3D printed lower to accept G36 mags and what I can only assume is a 3D printed FAMAS inspired sight rail, you at least went all out and put that top tier SIG red dot on to really show those other HK fanboys you are not a poor. Your attempt to make Gun Jesus cry is futile, sir, for two reasons. Number one, he doesn't watch our channel, and number two, he's solely focused on sourcing 7mm French long, and your creation, well, that's just a distraction.
This is a distraction.
Next up, let's see what we have next. Oh my God, finally! Listen up, people, the big bad John is doing it right. This is how you submit a picture for a roast. Take some time, get some good lighting, a fitting background, proper focus, something that will actually catch the eye. I give the effort of this build a solid 8 out of 10 just for the photo, but let's take a closer look at the rifle itself. At first glance, it looks like a solid build with Magpul and Geisley parts and a cloud defensive light setup. You can tell Big Bad here has been scouring the ARFCOM deals page. But much like many of the other builds that we've looked at, if you look closely enough, you can start to see at what point the funds started to dry up, with the budget Swamp Fox optics setup including a canted red dot being the first telltale sign of poverty. But then upon looking closer, we spot the Strike Industries dust cover. Oh boy. Well, good on you at least for not getting the red anodized one.
Good job.
Well, that wraps up our first roast of the new year. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you one-tap that like button and get subscribed so you can enjoy more of this type of content for the rest of the year. If you want to hang out with me, I'll be live on Twitch right now at twitch.tv/TundraGamingLive, so come say hi. A link is down in the description. Leave me a comment letting me know which one of these you would buy, if any, and don't forget to join us next time when we still don't know what the fuck we're doing. Bye-bye.